Hi folks, Jeff here again. This is a video I promised you about making Flemish Splice strings with no measuring tools. Okay, so what I have here is about 88 inches of B55, the standard B55. Nice E-tar colors here, and I'm hoping they'll show up a little better for us. So I had the board, as you see before in my opening, I have the board already marked out that I've had for 25, 30 years. So I make 68-inch bows, so most of my strings are standard. If I need a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, the main thing to remember is I got 7 strands of each, 14 strands for something up in the mid-50s. I use the 14 on anything from 40 up to about 55, and then 55 up I go to a 16 strand. If you want, you can put an extra loop in here, pad the loops a little bit. It doesn't matter. The main thing is when you cut your B50 and you get your bundle, I like to hang my bundles off a nail, just droop the top or a clamp, and then run my fingers down this, because what you don't want is when you're done is to have a string loop in the middle because they're not even. That's kind of embarrassing, and I don't know if it hurts the string or not, but it doesn't look good. So make sure that your bundles are just each bundle is pulled through, sorted out a little bit. They're really waxy. This is a BCY, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I got this at E-tar, $5 a spool. Normally from any of your major traditional archery suppliers, it's $9 or $10 a spool. So I stocked up because it was half price. And then the fella was Chatty Cathy that day, and he said, hey, grab an extra spool. So I got 5 spools for 20. Anyway, I got an extra spool for free. So I bought a ton of this stuff. I got all kinds of fancy colors and stuff. So anyway, here we go. Starting. What you need to know is you need 9 inches for each loop. On each end, your twist and your loop, you need about 9 inches each, so that's about 18 inches extra. So if you're going to have a 68-inch bow, you're going to probably have a 64-inch bowstring, and then you need 18 inches on top of that, whatever that turns out to be. After you've made a string or two, measurements won't be as critical. And if you copy off an old bowstring, you never need a tape measure. So here we go. So I just take my 2 loops. I offset them probably an inch. That's good enough for me. Come down here. My left hand, pointer finger and thumb, pinch them. I'm going to measure off approximately 9 inches. And then here we go. You know, there's been a lot of discussion. We had a great discussion at E-tar over pure Cuban cigars. That's a rare treat for me, a Cuban cigar. About left hand twist, right hand twist, combined with right wing, left wing feathers, yada, yada, yada. That's a little too much technical for me. I don't know if I want to go that deep. I'll give you my 2 cents here before I start twisting. I use a straight fletch. I try to use hand-cut turkey feathers whenever I can. I got a lot of turkey hunters. I'm not a successful turkey hunter with a bow. So I have a lot of shotgun hunters, and they give me turkey wings. So, you know, you got a left wing and a right wing on each feather. So what I found out with my straight fletch with about 3 degrees nose to the right, if I use 3 left wing feathers or 3 right wing feathers, I really don't see a lot of difference, folks. I know that's probably, according to the forums, that's sacrilege, but I shoot every day. I shoot arrows every single day of the week, if I can help it here in New England, except in the dead of winter. And even then, the wife and I go to the range at least once a week. I'm making arrows like a madman. I make them to break them. That's my slogan. And I don't, with a straight fletch now, I don't find a noticeable difference. Helicals, not my game. I don't shoot a helical fletch. I can't help you. I don't think I'd want to put a right helical clamp with a left wing feather. It's probably some kind of aerodynamic thing because the quills curve to the left and you're trying to bend them to the right. I don't know. Anyway, that's my take on things. I shoot a straight fletch, like I said, 2 or 3 degrees nose right. Broadheads, everything else, they fly perfect for me. I don't have an arrow flight problem. I watch my bamboo arrow videos. I spend great pains to make sure that my arrows fly good, no feathers or feathers. So when it's broadhead time, I can throw a Howard Hill on like Robert Spencer carries a Howard Hill broadhead. He seems to like those. I've killed some big game animals with Howard Hill, with Jerry Hill, stainless, not Howard's, Jerry's, the 190s. And I really liked them. They performed admirably. Shot through a couple of big goats stuck in the ground. Heart shots, lung shots, they don't go anywhere. So a hot tip, it doesn't matter what poundage of bow you're shooting. It doesn't matter what kind of broadhead you're shooting. Except mechanicals, we're not going to go there. And pick your spot, a nice long double lung hit, and you're home free. The deer or your game animal is not going anywhere. Okay, rambling. Here we go. You saw what I did here. I've got about an inch off the black, off the fluorescent. Now I'm taking my black. I'm pinched in my thumb and my forefinger. I'm twisting my black away from me. Okay, away. Then I bring it over across the top and I pinch it with my thumb. And I grab the orange and I twist the orange away from me. And I bring it over the top of the black and I pinch it with my thumb. Then I take the black and the orange and I tug on them. You got to tug them. You got to keep that knot. You got to keep that twist tight, or else you end up with a real sloppy braid down here. So you want, this is the loop that goes around your knocking point. So you want this the best you can get it, and it takes a while. It takes a while. A good practice. I used to make strings for the late John Tangredi, because I lived near him years ago, and I used to twist these up watching TV. So it doesn't take much to do this. Funny story. I used to twist up strings, and I used to charge him $6 a piece, and I think he used to sell them for $8 or $9 a piece. And tug them, twist, tug them, twist, tug them, twist. Keep tugging them, twist them. The wax, this is BCY, I want to say, from Glastonbury, Connecticut. Good stuff. It's got pretty good wax on it. I like that. I don't like having to re-wax my strings. Not at this stage. So I'll just keep twisting back towards me. Twist away from me, back towards me. Then I grab it with my fingers and I look down, see what I got for a loop here. No, not yet. So this end seems to be, will hold pretty tight, but you want to pinch that in your fingers. And when you stop, go back and twist the last one and make it tight before you twist the second one and bring it back over. So here we go like that. Here we go. It's kind of mindless. It's a good time to think about stuff when you're doing this, because you don't really have to focus on what you're doing. You know, you do a million strings, you just do this. And take your time. This is a labor of love. This is your bowstring. I can't show you right now. I've got a nail on the wall by the door over here, and I've got probably 30 bowstrings on it. And I've got bowstrings in my possession that I made back in the 1990s. And I'll tell you what, they're still shootable. Okay, there's a good loop right there. So then I take my loop, pinch it with my right hand. I'll sort it out in a minute. Stick your thumb through it, because you're going to have to keep this loop tight. So stick your thumb to it, right at the ball of your finger, at your pinky finger, I'm sorry, not your thumb. Then pinch these two with your thumb and the forefinger like you did before. And don't let them get away, because now you've got loose ends. So now you're going to take this string here. I hope I'm not talking too fast, and I hope I'm not skipping stuff, because, like I said, I can do this in my sleep. So I'm going to sort these out now, and I'm going to go orange to orange, black to black, okay? I don't need to know what's under my thumb, because I know what's under my thumb, because I just sorted these two out. So now comes the critical part, because this is the tail of the loop. So take this orange string here, And you got to find out what to do with your fingers, but it's not going to be comfortable. But it will be in a minute when you start getting down there. Now I've got the orange over here, and it's twisted within an inch of its life and captured with my thumb. Now take the black one and loosen up the pressure on your forefinger and let that twist go back into your hand, into the loop. And then twist that one and bring it over. Pull on it. Twist. Pull. Twist. Pull. Twist. Pull it back. Tug on it. You can stop this process anytime you want. So I'm going to capture it now with my other thumb and my forefinger. Well, let's take a look what we got here. Can't zoom yet. I don't. My camera skills and my editing skills, I'm working on them. But that's a pretty good loop right there, and my tail looks pretty good right there, and everything looks pretty good right there. And then, as you know, what locks us together on your bow is your bowstring gets twisted to tighten the loop, to tighten the fibers against each other. And then when they're tight, they won't unravel. And I'll tell you what, twist one of these up, twist it the wrong way on your bow, string your bow, and somewhere along the stringing process or the first time you're drawing process, the string's going to come apart and it's going to put a groove across your face like a bullwhip. How do I know this? I know this. Trust me. So now I'm going back and I'm going to capture pretty close to where I was before. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to retwist in there anyway, both of these, the black and the orange. Okay, orange coming over the top. Okay, twist, tug. Okay, I'm going to finish this one loop, and then I'm going to go on to something else, because you're twisting exactly the same way. So a lot of times I just twist this. I'm going to keep this off the floor. This is brand new virgin string stuff here. You don't want to drag this on your dirty floor. I got sawdust and shavings and bamboo dust all over the place. So keep this clean. Put it either that or you can do this. Flip it over your shoulder. That keeps it out of harm's way as well. So that's another good tip. Okay, so twist, over, pull, twist, over. I saw a lot of, well, I haven't really watched, but I've seen some videos where people have these string boards, and okay, now I'm going to take this off my finger because I've run out of tension. So now I'm going to just capture it in my hand because we're far enough away here that nothing's going to go south. We got a good purchase on this. Okay, here we go. We're going to get to the end here pretty soon. My black's coming to an end, and the reason why I cut these short is because I want to stagger my ends on these, and it kind of just makes a little smoother transition. And I'll show you what happens. And then I'll show you another little trick that I have picked up over the years. I got a microphone on my camera. This is the first time I've tried it, so I'm hoping it's going to work a little better because I tend to mumble when I put my head down. So yes, we're coming back to probably the last twist on the full black. So twist as many strands as you can of the loop part. Now we're coming down to the orange. If I can get a twist or two of the separate colors. Now the black, this is the first time I'm twisting the black, and now I've got the 7 strand. I don't have the loop part anymore. So I'm coming down like this, and I'm running out of orange here too. And what a difference when you go from 14 strands down to 7 strands. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. I got a little tag in here. We're going to cut these off anyway when you get your bowstring done. We're going to do like this. We're going to do like this. Like that. Trust me, your forefinger and your thumb are going to get really tired when you first start doing this. I think I made my first Flemish Splice string out of Howard Hills, Hunting the Hard Way. Okay, now I'm done. I'm done. What do I got here? 9. I've got probably a 5-inch twist here. And then I twist it 2 or 3 times down the single strands. Now here's a trick. When I cut my, this is part of the double half inch that's left on my board when I measure out the 88 inches the first time. I'm going to double wrap this around the string, and I'm tying just a regular knot here. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy because it's going to come off right away. So I just want a knot, and what I'm doing is I'm just putting a single overhand on this just to hold this together now so it won't unravel on me. And then you can take this, see, this is what I mean about the string loop. You've got to watch that. But I don't have another loop on it yet, so what I will do is, to double check this, I will hang this loop on a nail, which I have on my door, heading for the outside here, and then I'll go back and I'll straighten these out one more time. So this is our loop, and that's how it's done. And that's a nice, kind of small loop, so that'll be probably the bottom. That won't be our loop for the top. That'll capture nice. And then what's going to happen is once you get a couple of twists in that, you can sort all these out on the bow, and then go back with a nice sharp pair of scissors, and you can trim these down, and then you can rub some wax in here, some really sticky wax, rub it down with a piece of leather, and this will blend right in, and it'll look very nice. So this is the first part. So this is what we have here. Okay, folks, I will be back. I am going to set up my bowstring, and I'm going to show you how to measure this by eye against your old bowstring without twisting it. So when you put it on your bow and it's stretched, you can go back and twist it up, and it'll fit exactly. I measure from my handle to my bowstring with my hand. And I've done that for a million years, and I see a lot of other people do that. It's a quick check on a range in the field. Stick your hand on the handle, your string here, plus or minus 1/8 of an inch, you're good to go. That's what my bow's like, and that's how that works. Okay, over and out for now. Okay, here we go. Now we've got the bowstring in between 2 dowels here. The bowstring I'm going to replace is this one here. This is 64.5 inches, peg to peg. Came right off my other bow, my 60-pound reverse handle bow, but that's okay. This string is going to fit this bow and another bow, but it's a little light for that. But anyway, demonstration purposes. We're coming over here to where the tail is. You refer to that part as the tail right there. This string is not stretched. So we're going to come over here and we're going to pinch it where the tail is on this one. And we're going to go back about 1/4 of an inch because we want a little bigger loop here. So if you can see that right there. And I've got this right here. And that's how we're going to go back to the bench now, and we're going to sit down. And we're going to finish. I'll show you how to finish this out. Okay? Okay. Okay, now we're back on the bench. I've got my mark here from the tail on the string that I had on my pegs. This is my string that I stretched out. I didn't stretch out, that I put on my nail, and I made sure all the strands are the same. No twisted strands in there, no flat spots. Now, as you can see, I've probably got 9, I've probably got about 14 inches here, which I'm not going to need. So what we'll do is when we get done, to get rid of the excess, we'll twist this one and we'll match it up with this one when I get the loop in it, so that our double to single twist is the same length, so your bowstring looks symmetrical. So we're going to cut off that much anyway at the end, but you know, that's the way it goes. A little extra is a lot better than a little less. So, but like I said, if you use the 9 inches rule of thumb and you cut this to your bowstring length, measure your bowstring 64.5 plus 9 and 9 on each end, you'll be fine. Go 10 inches, you'll be fine. You know. Okay, here we go. So that's my tail. That's where my tail and my loop's going to start. So we're just going to start again, the same thing. And I'm not going to try and talk this much, but I'm going to whip through this. And this is probably like watching somebody tie a fly. It's probably dry. But it's kind of fun. The fun part is that I've got a bowstring here that I just made that'll last me probably 4 or 5 years, or I don't know. I've never broken a Flemish Splice 16 strand string. I've never broke one, and I shot 70, 75 pounds for when I was a younger guy. And even now, my hunting bow is 60. My favorite hunting bow is 60, and my alternate is 61. And I shoot 16s on those. I've never broken one. I've had them fray out, I've cut them, but I've never broken one. So this is a good time for your hunting kit. I like the Plains Indian style quivers. I'm sold now. The back quivers they're nice. They have their place, but they rattle, and the drawing motion is crazy. But I'll tell you what, you slide an arrow out like this, real nice. It works really good. Put on your quiver. Make yourself a little pouch. This is a tip from the old timers. And make a little leather pouch, not very big. Put an extra bowstring in it. Shot, twisted shot, knock set on it, the whole 9 yards. And that's all you need. Your longbow, your quiver, your arrows. Pocket knife would be nice. And plastic bag. I'm done dragging deer out. I'm too old for that now. I'm going to quarter them, bone them right there in the field. That's the way it is. Come home with meat. That's getting there. A little bit more. See, this part here, because you're going away from your string, doesn't have anything to do with the length of your string. We're just making the loop a little bigger. Well, it has something to do with your string because it's making your loop. But from my left hand to center, now it's going to stay the same, except for a little bit because we're adding a little bit here. I want enough in this loop so I can slide it over the limb and over the limbs of my bow. This is going to do us right here. Yeah, that's good. I don't like my loops really big, but I don't care if they're kind of big. Okay. And I don't twist the hell out of these strings when I get them on my bow. I see some of them that are twisted so tight that you can barely tell what color they are. And I don't go for that. If you saw the string behind me, it's got a gentle twist in it, but it's what I really need. And the B55, the naysayers can say what they want. I don't get a lot of stretch out of this stuff. Maybe an inch. I don't know. Not much. What I do is I make the string and I string it on the bow like this with no twist in it. String the bow up, and if I'm doing this in the morning, I'll just leave it hanging on a peg in the shop, and I'll do something else, and I'll come back and I'll check it. And and by 2-3 hours, I'm good. Twist it up to where I want my brace sight. Serve it. I've got an old single friction server that works good. It's not a speed contest. I serve my strings. I use 3 inches above center, 5 inches below center. I use an 8-inch serving. I always have done that. That works good for me. Brownell's nylon or something, not nylon, but Dacron from Brownell's. I bought 4 or 5 rolls probably 20 years ago. I'm still using it. And then a brass rubber coated knock set, and I'm good to go. And then take it out and shoot 30, 40 arrows in your yard. Check your brace height. You might have to twist it a couple of turns, but you've got plenty left to twist. So it's not going to you're not making it longer, you're making it shorter, so it's not a big deal. And then this is foolproof, I'm telling you. Measure it off against your old string, you're good to go. Now here what I'm doing is the same thing. I'm matching up my colors. I want my blacks on the bottom, I want my orange on the top. Pull it tight. Okay, black's on the bottom, but I'm going to put a few twists in that anyway to make the tail before I bring my orange over the top. Black, twisting away. Same thing, get your fingers under you. Your fingers are going to be real uncomfortable. Get used to it. So there we go. We got some twists in that one. Snugging her up real good. This is the critical part because this tail has to be right. Okay. So twist these kind of really tight. Get them going. Twist, 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 twist. Pull it over and pinch it hard and snug it. There we go. That's your first part of the tail of the loop right there, which is, you want that as nice and tight. Back again. Then I'll go down probably 4 or 5 twists and then I'll stop and I'll look. If this comes out, if this goes south on you when you're done your string and there's something radically wrong and it doesn't fit, take it apart. Don't cut this. Take your string apart. You can retwist these till you get it right. It doesn't matter. You may have to wax it a little bit, but you can twist this, you know. I've taken them apart. I've taken them apart and retwisted them to put them on different bows. It really doesn't matter. This is your string. This is your skill. Learn how to do it. It's great. Like I said, you can sit in front of the TV, talk to your wife, drink a cold beer, beverage of your choice, whatever. Sit here and twist up strings. It strengthens your fingers. And when you're done, you got a beautiful string and you go, wow, I made that. Wow, wow, wow. And it's as good as that $20-something string I just bought her. However, the traditional big box stores are charging. You know what I mean? That's why I'm doing these videos, so you guys can learn this stuff. And you can experiment with different colors. You get your basic black, your basic white, your basic red, your basic yellow. That's some pretty good colors. Now I went crazy. I got fluorescent orange, fluorescent green. I got some purples. I got some blues. I got some tans. You know, deer don't care. They really don't. And orange, this orange, I think on my black and white Deer Vision app, this fluorescent orange looks like brown, mustard brown. Because I took some pictures of some arrows that I did with a white dip and fluorescent pink, and they look really garish, but you can't find a turkey feather in them when you miss a target. So you have to improvise. And I'll tell you what, whoops, I may have went too far. So what happens when you talk, you end up going too far. So let's see what we got here. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm going to go back and I'm going to untwist it about an inch. And I'm going to start pulling my singles out. And then it'll match. So let's do, what did we do up here? All right, we did black first and then we did this. So now untangle the tag end of the blacks and let it hang out. Okay, now put some twists in let it hang. Put your twist in there and pinch it. Okay, good. Done. Sort out your orange. Tag in. Perfect, right there. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down a couple of twists with this. We're only picking up the single 7-strand of the black, remember? This is going to be a little tricky on your fingers, but that's okay. Twist it, twist it, twist it, twist it, twist it, over. Twist it, twist it, twist it, over. 2, 1 more. Over. Okay. Pull them tight, get them tight, get those loops tight. 1 more orange. Okay. Orange is out. Now we're going to do 1 or 2 with one or two with the single 7 to lock this orange one in. There we go. There's 1, 2. It's that braiding kind of like. I'm not good at that. I can do a 3 braid, but I think I did a dog leash once in 4 braid. That was something you have to work at. Okay, so there we go like that. That's fine. I've got those hanging out. I got that hanging out. These aren't staggered, but it's probably not going to make a hell of a lot of difference. Now I've got a piece of black left over from when I did the black off the spool. I'm going to wrap this around there, because this is critical now. I don't want this to come apart. Double wrap around it. Overhand knot. Pretty close. Hang on, I gotta get a scissors, don't go away. You never have all the stuff you need in reef. I thought this was gonna come out a little closer. So what I'm gonna do now is I know I don't need this stuff. So I'm just gonna hack off. Not a lot. Just gonna hack off enough so you can see what I'm doing. And there you have it. And this you have to take and let this, straighten this out. And then you just take this, measure it against your old string now on your board. If it's not right, back to the drawing board. There's just some things I can't show you. You're going to have to figure it out. But this, pretty nice loops. Tails are good. Yeah, I like that. Colors match, and they're pretty symmetrical. No. So you put this on your bow. Leave it alone. Let it set 3-4 hours. People hang dumbbells on it and do crazy stuff. There's people that make strings have a stretcher, but I'm not that sophisticated. I'm a hobbyist here. So string your bow with this. Leave these tied, because there's no twist to hold this together now. So just string it. If you want, you can take this and put in. You can put in a little bit of twist like that. Just 2 or 3 twists, just to hold it. Because when you pull it, it's going to pull against the braid. It's going to pull against itself. String it. Let it set. Check your brace height. String it. Check your brace height. It'll come down. 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 If it's then twist it up. It's never going to be too long. I mean too short. So it's going to be too long because it's going to stretch out. Your brace height's going to go down, twist it, bring it back up, twist it, bring it back up. And with this method, from a twisted string, you're taking care of your twist and your stretch. And then, like I said, I don't get a lot of stretch on these, and I rarely have to adjust my strings on a field course, or, well, I don't shoot field course, but 3D course, or practicing. Once these set, I don't know what the big hubbub is about B50 stretching like a rubber band, and it gets cold, it gets hot. I check my brace height a lot. It's just reaction. You string your bow. First thing you check is the tips to make sure your strings are in the knot grooves before you draw, so you don't have an accident, because they have a tendency. I do the Howard Hill push-pull method, and it's fairly foolproof, but sometimes if you have a bow that's got big overlays on it, you have to go over those overlays, and if they're not fairly smooth, you can get hung up and one side won't clip in, and if one side doesn't clip in and you draw that bow, it'll turn itself inside out in a heartbeat. Ask me how I know that. So all I've got here for tools is 2 hands, a scissors, my B50, and like I said, 72 inches is about across from my fingertips. So that's 72, and then add, I cut off probably 5 inches. I had about 88, so I could have went down to probably 83, and it would have came out perfect for a 64.5-inch bowstring. So there you got it, folks, and I'll add some comments in this when I edit it. And but yeah, it's a good-looking string. I don't mind the fluorescent colors. It's easy to find, but the hot tip is get your pouch on your quiver. I'll show you one right here. This is my newest favorite quiver. Little pouch like that. There's your bowstring. You're home free. That's all you need. Same thing with this girl here. This is my first attempt. I like this one too. This is my backup, so I can set up 2 different quivers, 2 different bows. I have self bow and I have my ASLs. Same thing. Little brown pouch here. Nothing special. Bowstring. Boom. Done. Okay. Okay, folks. Over and out. See you next time.